Hi, welcome to El Angel La Casa. So, the first thing that I'd like to talk about with this coffee is what is behind that name, because it's kind of a mouthful. It's a little awkward, like it's almost like two names. Well, it is two names, El Angel La Casa. So, the first part to talk about would be El Angel. El Angel is the name of the farm that we work with, and this farm is owned by a woman named Alejandra Chacon. It's a full family effort. When we got introduced to this farm, it was run by her dad, Arturo Chacon. Arturo has since passed on the business to his eldest daughter and her two siblings. And it's awesome. These three women give us all of the coffee from El Angel La Casa, as well as the coffees El Angel Aguacate and El Angel Lecheria. So this farm, El Angel, it's located in San Pablo de Leon Cortes. Specifically, the barrio is called Carrizal, not to be confused with Nancy Mahano's Carrizal. And all of this, to give you kind of a greater context, is within a large coffee-producing region called Tarrazú. And Tarrazú is located just south of kind of the capital city of San Jose. So here, the Chacon family grows Caturra and Villalobos coffee predominantly across three mini farms. In my head, I almost think of them as sections of the same farm. So, La Casa, what does that mean? And it simply means that this coffee, this particular lot, is sourced from the trees that were right around the house, the casa. Likewise, El Angel Lecheria is coffee that was sourced from the parcel of land that's right next to the historic dairy barn. And El Angel Aguacate is from a little bit further up on a hill where there are avocado trees. So what makes this different and what makes this unique? Whereas aguacate and lecheria are processed in a fully washed manner. That is, after the cherries are collected, the skin's taken off, and then that seed with all of the fruit is left inside of a tank for the fruit to ferment and soften up, and then the next day, water's put into that tank, and it's just washed off so that you've got nice, clean coffee. This coffee, however, El Angel La Casa, is done in a white honey method, very similar to Cypress. So in this case, they take that fruit, the coffee cherry, as soon as it's harvested, and they run it through a depulper, which takes the skin of the fruit off. And then after that, it goes through a secondary machine called a demucilager. So after it goes through the desmuciladora, it's left with very, very little fruit on it. It's pretty much just, you've got your green coffee, it's surrounded by a layer that's called parchment, and then it's very, very clean. Here, actually, let me show you. We had coffee cherry. I take off the skin, and I'm left with a bean that's surrounded by, there's a parchment layer on there. That's kind of why it looks a little bit yellowish. And then there's like sticky fruit. So after it runs through this desmuciladora, it just rips all of the fruit off, and you're not left with that like kind of slimy layer that I'm trying to show you. And it's really clean. So, El Angel La Casa, it is a really awesome white honey. This is a combination of both. It's mostly Caturra, but there's also some Villalobos in there. The low part of the farm is right around 1650. The high part of the farm is around 1700 meters above sea level. And this place is really cool because we've got a long history. It started back well before me, in 2009. When we first tasted this coffee, Ryan Brown and Eileen were just really struck by, the completeness of this coffee. It was balanced, it had acidity, it was sweet, it was interesting, and they had to have it. And since then, we've kind of built a bond and a trust. This is a farm where we buy all of the specialty coffee. So that means if Alejandra can produce coffee that is at least 86 points, we'll buy it. And to kind of show that, we've invested in them. So over the past 5 years, with help from Ritual, we have gone through a replanting project with El Angel. So over the course of 5 years, we had paid for the replanting of El Angel. When all of this has to do with kind of even past history, where the farm tried to go organic, and it didn't really work. And this was right after we kind of fell in love with the coffee and with the Chacon family. So, kind of seeing this big dip, had to start over. And we did. And since then, the coffee has been pretty damn good. And the family really like working with this family. Other things that have happened, we've helped rebuild their farm by providing plants for repropagation of plants. Also, with proceeds from being able to sell specialty coffee rather than conventional commodity coffee, we've helped them build their entire wet mill. So we helped them secure the finances to purchase an aqua pulper, which helps them process the coffee in this way. And in exchange, they are one of the best people to work with in that our feedback is incredibly important to them, and they will produce coffee in ways that are specifically geared toward our ritual palate. And by that, I mean nobody in Costa Rica is really pushing hard to do fully washed coffees. But these guys, I know it's not La Casa, but for the aguacate and lecheria, they're doing fully washed for us. And when we're doing this white honey for La Casa, it's because we think this one actually tastes good as a white honey. In exchange for our investment into those farms, they've in turn invested into us, and they keep trying to grow some of the best high-quality coffee out there in Tarrazú. And I think that they continually do a solid job. I really love this year's crop of El Angel La Casa, and I really look forward to coffees from Alejandra and Arturo and everybody every single year we work with them. Enjoy.